Oh my God. I was like swearing so much making these because I couldn't get over how like beautiful they turned out. So I wanted to share it with you if it turned out. So here I am because obviously look at that. It turned out those beasts. So it's super easy. I diced everything really fine and I shredded cabbage, carrot. Then I had two shallots and mushrooms, about six mushrooms. And then I have garlic, ginger, and chili mixture that's minced. And lots of green onions at the end. So what I like to saute with is sesame oil because that's going to make it have the authentic taste big time, as I love the sesame. And then I put a little bit of veggie oil as well, but you don't have to do that. And then I put, once the onions and the minced mixture is all nice and tender, then you're going to put in the rest of your veggies there and you're going to mix it all up and incorporate it nicely. And then I put in some salt and pepper, and that just adds a lot of flavor, as well as when it gets nice and tender, I like to put a teaspoon of soy sauce. If you don't use soy, then you can do veggie stock or you can just omit it. It's just some extra flavoring. It is so good. So put it to the side and put your green onions if you like green onions. It is so yummy in there. And then you're going to mix it up and let it cool down while we make the yummy wrappers. So I couldn't find any recipes anywhere. I literally found one and it worked so good. So the recipe is a cup of flour, 3/4 a cup of water, and a fourth a teaspoon of salt. Now I ended up putting more water in there and I also had to make more batter, so I double or triple that. Make sure there's no lumps. It has to be runny, but not doughy, not too runny, like in the middle. It has to look kind of like crepes. So once you get it to the consistency like this, you are going to add it to a pan that's really nice and smooth and big like this, but you're not going to have any oil. You're just going to put down a teaspoon or so of the batter, and then I'm going to show you with my spoon. I got my hubby to help me with the camera. So, and then you're going to turn it over. You are going to get a little bit of the bits right here, like you see here, and they just come right off with the spatula. And then once it's done, you're going to put it on a plate, but you're going to put in between them parchment paper so they don't stick together because you will be swearing. And this just comes off like just like that. And then you're going to put it in the garbage. So yeah, so this is the first time I've ever done this, so sorry if there's like long bits here, but yeah, so don't worry if that looks like it's not cooking on the other side, because once you flip it over, just like a crepe, it's going to be just fine. So I got the hang of it after a couple. It looks so pretty. I love it. And then you just keep layering them on, and they are so cool. It was so fun. It was like definitely like crepes, but a lot easier for some reason. So here's the method. You literally go to the middle. If I kind of just ended up pouring like a half a cup instead of just by teaspoons, because they say by teaspoons and it really does not help. So just load it on and make sure you don't put too much. Like a half a cup is perfect for one. And then you just start in the middle and then take your spoon in a circular motion to the outside until it gets nice and thin everywhere. Hopefully I'm really bad at explaining things, so you know, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And don't worry, they don't have to be perfect. As long as there's no like crazy tears or anything in it, you're going to be okay. I had a couple with holes in it and it totally held up, so don't fret. Look at, I'm just admiring it. Like, I think it is the coolest method and so easy to do yourself. So once those are cooled down, I'm just putting the filling in, and then I fold it up like a burrito. That's what I did first. And then I put my cornstarch and water. So it's 2 parts cornstarch to 1 part water. So I did like 3 tablespoons to 1.5 water. And then you're going to put the cornstarch out on the sides that need to stick together. And that's what's kind of works to be the glue. Now I had a couple things fall out a bit and it didn't even matter. Like I like thought that they were going to come apart when I went to fry them and they totally stayed. So I was so happy. So this is what I eventually did. I just put it everywhere on the wrapper around, wrapped it up, and then I also put it on the top of the um, kind of the top of the burrito part as I folded it so that it would glue shut. And look at how awesome these are. I was crossing my fingers because I was hoping they wouldn't come apart when I fried them. So make sure your oil is enough to, I did a small one because I didn't have a lot of oil, but make sure that it's going to be enough to cover it at least. And then to make sure it's hot enough before you put it in, or else you're going to wait forever and it's not going to cook evenly. And I'm also really hoping it'll turn out. My fingers are crossed through the whole thing, and it turned out so perfect. They were so bubbly and crunchy and yummy. I took them out just before it started to look like brown, and they were so good. I think it was 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, and they were done. Like that one had a hole, and it was totally fine. It looked like it was burnt in just the whole part, but it actually tasted really, really yummy. I'm so excited for you guys to try this because like I couldn't find a homemade wrapper anywhere on YouTube. So um, this is the most authentic that I've had in a long time that were vegan and that weren't like falling apart as you bit into them. Like I really hate that. I love the flakiness, but like it makes a mess. So like this was perfect. And then I served it with some plum sauce because I love plum sauce. And they were so real tasting. I hope that somebody enjoys this.